Hey guys, Cody with Princess Craft RV. Today we're going to go through the systems operations on the 2021 Lance 1995 travel trailer. So come along with me as we go through this. Starting right up front here, we're going to talk about how to get this thing hooked up to your tow vehicle. It's going to ride on a 2 5/16 ball, and it's got a very easily sliding coupler here to get everything latched on. Once you get your tow vehicle backed underneath the trailer, we're going to use our smart jack here to lower down. Once we get down onto the ball, we're going to slide our coupler forward, pick up on the back and just slide it forward. Make sure these ears right here on the back fall down in there, and that's going to be latched on. Now with the Lance trailer here, it also comes with a safety pin and a clip. You're just going to slide the pin through and put the clip back in, and that will ensure that this latch cannot open back up while you're traveling down the road. Now to release, it's just going to be the opposite. Again, we're going to remove our safety pin here. You can either store this in the pin or store it somewhere safe where you don't lose it. Now once we get ready to release, all we've got to do here is pick up on the back and again pull back, and this should latch open in that position there. Now again, we can use our smart jack to raise up off the ball. A couple other things that are going to hook up to our tow vehicle is going to be our 7-way cord. This is going to plug into the 7-way receiver on the back of your tow vehicle. And this is going to provide all the light functions such as tail lights, brake lights, running lights, turn signals, and the electric brake function to the travel trailer as long as you are equipped with a brake control for the brake operation. The other things that are going to hook up are going to be our safety chains. It's going to be these guys right here. Now these do need to cross each other underneath the hitch, and they're going to just clip onto the receiver hitch with your spring-loaded clips there to hold them on. Now all of this stuff stores nice and neatly back here behind the tongue jack. You do have a little carrier here for your safety chains and your 7-way cord so we can keep the water out of it as well as keep it up out of the mud. And the one last thing that needs to hook up to your tongue is going to be your safety breakaway cable. Now this cable needs to run its own path. Do not fish it through the chains, and it needs to be hooked up with its own clip to the receiver hitch. Now this is a safety device that runs to a box mounted on the frame here that pulls a pin out and applies the brakes on the trailer if you were to actually get completely separated from your tow vehicle. Now for operating your LCI Smart Jack, it's all from your control pad right here on top. Right here in the center, you will see that we have a light button, so that will turn your loading light on and off down here around the base. This is a battery monitor here, so you can see when your battery's getting low. And then we're going to have your up and down buttons. Now, one thing that you want to remember about this with the up and down buttons, down is like the trailer tongue going down, which is actually going to bring the jack up. And the up button is bringing the trailer tongue up, which actually pushes the jack leg down. So in case your brain thinks differently about that, that's how that actually operates. Now the Smart Jack does have a lot of features to it: auto retract, hitch height memory, and which are pretty cool things there. So once you get this thing loaded, you can just recall that jack, auto retract it, and it just comes all the way up. So you don't have to stand here and hold the button. Now, if you do have a battery failure or a motor failure on this, it does have a manual override option. It's going to be underneath this cap right here on top. We're just going to pop this open, and inside you will see a 3/4 drive for a socket to run this manually. Now, Lance provides with most of their trailers a tire tool for removing the lug nuts from the wheels if you need to. That will fit this as well, or you can purchase a separate tool to go with it. Moving on back from there, we're going to talk about our propane. This is going to come equipped with 3 20-pound cylinders underneath this cover. A couple of different ways to access it. First one's just going to be for general operations, going to be below this top cover. You're going to turn this little black rotary piece here on top. Using a coin is going to make your life a lot easier here. We're just going to drop it right down in that slot, and we're going to rotate this, and it is pretty tight. And that's going to allow us to open up this cover and give us basic access to our cylinders as well as our LP regulator for basic operation. Now, if you actually need to get in and remove a cylinder or do anything else in there, you can leave that on. We're actually going to remove this cover completely. We're going to undo the snap clips here on each side, 2 on each side, And then that's going to allow us to actually remove the entire cover here and give us complete access. Now, like I said, this does come with 3 20-pound propane cylinders. These can be refilled or exchanged, whichever works best for you or whatever is available. For basic operation of our propane system, here at Princess Craft, we do like to run this in what we would call manual mode, which is going to be leaving 1 cylinder on, 1 cylinder off. So if we keep 1 cylinder turned on, and we use our selector switch here to determine which cylinder it is, and that will be determined by the rotary dial here on top. It says supply, which is going to be this one. It's pointed this way. When this cylinder goes empty, what we would do is close this cylinder off. We're going to open up the other cylinder, and then we're going to turn our dial so it points towards that cylinder. Now we know this cylinder is empty, and it can be removed and replaced with the spare tank here, or you can take it and go get it refilled or exchanged, whichever you prefer. So let me show you how to remove these from the trailer. So to remove your spare cylinder, it's just a band clamp with a latch here. We're just going to pop that open, and this will come all the way apart, and then you can lift this one out. So to remove these cylinders back here, it's going to be a couple steps. First thing we're going to do is we're going to loosen up this wing nut in the back. And you can take this all the way off. You shouldn't need to. It may make life easier, it may make it more difficult, whatever works for you. Next thing we're going to do is whichever cylinder we're removing, make sure your service valve is closed completely. And then we're going to go ahead and remove the pigtail connection. Now to get these out, we have to lift the crossbar up off of the cylinder. And then you're going to want to rotate this around so you can tip it out and then lift it out. Now again, now you can take this and either get it exchanged, refilled, exchange it with your spare cylinder, whichever you want to do. Just remember, when you do transport these, if you are taking it to exchange it or refill it, that it travels in the upright position, and that is for safety purposes, so just keep that in mind. Putting it back in is just going to be the opposite. Again, the open end of your collar here, you want it facing back, and then once we get it in, we'll rotate it around. So once you get all your cylinders back in, now we can put our cover back on. We're just going to kind of fish this thing in here between the body and the jack. Once we get it up here, you'll see these aluminum tracks on the sides. Each side's going to sit into that track, front and rear. And then you can latch. And don't forget to do all 4 like that. That way that thing will stay in place while you travel. Moving on to the off-door side of the trailer here, let's talk about our batteries. Storage compartment on each front side of the trailer here is going to have your battery in it. So the trailer is going to come with 2 batteries. Inside you will find equipped with a Group 24 battery from us here at Princess Craft. It's going to be an interstate wet battery, which means it's not maintenance free. You do need to pop these caps off here and check your water level periodically, and you need to use distilled water to top it off. Now the compartment just below that is going to be for our stabilizer jacks. We're going to have 3 switches on this side with our main power switch here in the middle. So it's probably best to start on this side so you can get access to that main power switch, because if it's not turned on, you can't even run the jacks from the other side. But this side is going to be front and rear extend and retract for the off-door side. The other side of the trailer has another compartment with extend and retract switches for front and rear for the door side jacks. So it's very simple. You're just going to, once you get the trailer leveled, you'll push the extend button. You'll run the jack all the way to the ground until you pretty much hear it strain, and then you're done, and that's all you need to do. Now just keep in mind that these are stabilizer jacks. They are not levelers. Don't use them to try to lift the trailer. You just want to apply some pressure to the ground to help stabilize the trailer. Now if you have a motor failure, these do have a 3/4 drive on them here if you need to manually crank them up. Now this big compartment right here is a portable generator storage compartment. If you don't use a portable generator, you don't have to put one in there. You can put whatever you want, but it does come with some safety straps to secure your stuff. It is ventilated, so if you carry gas or anything in there, you're not building up fumes. And we also have your tire iron that Lance supplies in here for removing your lug nuts or using on your jack or anything like that if you need to. We've also got your battery disconnect switch all the way in the very back corner here. It's just a little red switch. It can pull out when it's in the off position, and it just rotates when it's in the on position. It cannot be removed. All right, so this compartment door is held open with a magnetic catch here, so you just have to push it up to it. The magnet's going to keep it open for you, and it is equipped with a slam latch for closing, so you can just let it go and slam it shut. You do not need to open the handle or anything like that. Now, this is going to be a key lockable compartment, so you can secure whatever in here, as well as your battery and the access to your stabilizer jack switches. Now, just underneath our generator compartment here, we are going to find your toy lock. So this is going to be good for locking up that portable generator or any other things that you may want to secure. This just pulls out, and it's on a ratcheting system. So when you hear the clicks, you can let go and it'll stay in place. If you give it a quick tug, it's going to retract, and it's going to come with a lock there. So you just route it through whatever you're trying to lock and lock it back to itself, and you're good to go. Moving back from there, we're going to have a little storage compartment here underneath the trailer. This is going to be a wet storage area, so you're not going to want to put anything in here that you have to keep dry. But anything that you can fit in here, you can put in here. And again, it is key lockable. Just behind that, we're going to have a white pull handle. This is going to be for dumping your fresh water tank. So after your trip is done, or if you don't want to carry fresh water, or you're cleaning things out, whatever, you're just going to pull this lever. It's going to open up a valve underneath the trailer, and it's going to dump your fresh water tank out pretty quick. Moving on to our slide here, I'll show you the operations of it, but just some quick slide maintenance for you. These are going to be your tracks, top and bottom, where the slide gears actually move and run the slide in and out. These do need to be maintained, which means cleaning and lubricating them. Just make sure they stay relatively clean when you get ready to run the slide, and then lubricating them using a Teflon-based lubricant for the track system. It's really good. You're just going to spray it on the tracks, run the slide in and out a couple times to kind of transfer that lube to the gears in the wall. You'll be good to go. On your rubber seals that go all the way around, your wipe seals, you're going to want to use a rubber seal conditioner. It goes underneath, on each side, and across the top to keep these things pliable and clean so the sun doesn't break them down and they can continue to do their job. Big storage compartment here on the slide. This does carry quite a bit of stuff. Just use some common sense whenever you load this thing up. Don't throw like 1,000 pounds worth of stuff in here. Just remember your slide does have to move this. We don't want too much weight in there. Again, the compartment's gonna be held open with a magnetic catch, and it's gonna be 2 thumb locks and a key lock in the middle to secure it for you. Now moving underneath, just a quick talk about your wheels and tires down here. Tire pressure is always a biggie. Always keep up with your tire pressure. It's just like your vehicle. It can cause issues, blowouts, overheating, tire wear, premature tire wear, things like that. So just maintain it just like you would on your vehicle. Air them up to the recommended specification from Lance. And then your lug nuts, Lance's first trip on them, they recommend 10, 25, and 50 miles to retorque them to the specified value from Lance. And then after that, we here at Princess Craft recommend rechecking the torque specification on the lug nuts pretty much before you just get on your trip, before you hit the road. Just make sure everything is good and tight. Now, as far as finding your recommended tire pressure, it's going to be on a sticker up here at the front of the trailer. Just above that generator compartment, it's going to be this yellow and red sticker here. It's going to tell you your tire size as well as the recommended tire pressure here. You can see the tire size is going to be this one right here, and our recommended tire pressure is going to be 65 PSI for the 1995. Now the sticker just above that's going to be trailer information. It's got our VIN, which is going to be this number right here. That's a good thing to have and know. Keep somewhere with you. If you ever call in for parts or anything like that, pretty much anywhere is going to want the VIN from the trailer. Again, we're going to have tire sizing on here as well as weights. So all of the hookups just behind the slide here, this top little black disc one, inside you'll find 2 cable connections. One's going to be for cable, one's going to be for satellite. If it's cable, you just hook in, switch your TV over to cable, turn the antenna booster off, run a cable channel scan kind of thing, get it all hooked up that way. If it's going to be satellite, it takes a couple other connection switches inside. I'll show you how to make those. Just below that, we're going to find our 30 amp power cord connection. Power cord, 3 prongs. One of them is going to be L-shaped. Trailer is going to be the receiving side here. All we're going to do is line up those 2 L shapes and push that on there. Give it just a little twist to the right. That's going to be the initial lock on, and then we're going to use the plastic collar and we're going to snug that down. And it just needs to be snug. It doesn't need to be super tight. That's going to make sure that we maintain a good connection here. We don't want any loose connections that could cause overheating or arcing or anything like that that may cause power problems or cord failure. Our 2 connections below that are both going to be water. The white one's going to be our city water connection or freshwater connection, where we're going to hook up our freshwater hose with a water pressure regulator to provide water to the trailer. The black one on the right is going to be our black tank flush. We're going to want to use a designated hose for this. A black gray flush out hose is a great one. It's going to hook up, no regulator in line. It's going to hook straight up to there. We're going to keep our black tank valve open down here with our sewer hose connected to the dump. We're just going to turn that water on and let it run for a good 5 or 10 minutes. And that's just going to flood the tank with water and help rinse it out and get everything out that may not have come out on the regular dump. Next to that, we're going to have our exterior shower. We've got our hot and cold mixing knobs here, and then this just pulls out of here, and we're going to use the push lever here for water spray. Just push it down. As soon as you push it down, it's going to lock into the on position. To release it, we're just going to push back on the handle this way, and it's going to pop up and turn off. Now, a couple things. Just remember that your water is turned off whenever you go to store this, and you're just going to fish the hose back up in here. And this is going to store just like that. If you forget to turn your water off, you may have some water temperature issues at other places in the trailer. So just remember to turn those off. Could also cause a water leak issue from spraying, or if you accidentally depress the handle, could spray back into the trailer. So just remember to shut that off. And this one's just going to be a slide latch. When we push it closed, just pull it over to the left with your thumb and push it closed. Now, moving just under the trailer here is going to be our dump station. Again, sewer hose is going to hook up here. We're just going to twist the cap off, hook up with a bayonet fitting to the sewer outlet. Left handle is going to be gray, which is going to be our liquid waste or our gray water, which is going to be sink and shower. And then the one on the right is going to be our body waste or our black water, which is basically just toilet water. So while you're camping, you're always going to want to keep your gray valve closed. While you're camping, you're always going to want to keep your black valve closed. That way we don't have any solids settling in the tank and liquids running out, causing a pyramid plug or anything like that. We don't want any clogging. So keep your black one closed until your tank is either full or until you're ready to break camp. Now, your gray valve can stay open while you're camping, and since it's just sink and shower water, it's going to run out and drain. Now, some people do like to flush their sewer hose with the gray water. They like to keep it closed and use it to flush out after they've dumped their black water. So when you get ready to dump, make sure your sewer hose is hooked up to the dump. We're going to go ahead and pull our black valve, let it run until it runs all the way out, and then you can follow it with the gray valve if you have gray water stored to rinse your sewer hose. Now, these two hoses right here that have the gray caps in them, these are going to be your low point, freshwater low point drains for your hot and cold water. The one on the left here is going to be your red hose, so that's going to be for our hot water side, and the blue one's going to be for our cold water side. You're going to want to use these whenever you're getting ready to put it in storage, or you're winterizing it, or you're draining the water system out to clean it, anything like that. This is going to allow you to get out that lowest point of water out of the system. All right, moving around to the back side of the Lance 1995, just a little bit back here. This is gonna come equipped with your 4-inch square bumper. Good place to store your sewer hose. It's got the rubber plugs or plastic plugs that go into the ends. These you just squeeze them, pull out. As you're putting your sewer hose in or taking it out, just be careful that you don't snag it on anything. Since it is metal, you know, you may have a sharp edge or something in there. I'd hate for you to damage your sewer hose, so just be careful with it. If it jams up, don't force it to go. License plate's gonna mount right here once you get your metal license plate in. It's got the light on there to keep you legal. Moving over to your 6-gallon gas electric water heater. It's got a single vent on it. Excellent place to put a bug screen so you can minimize some of your maintenance or problematic issues that dirt daubers and wasps can cause. But inside here, we just have a couple things. Bottom left corner over here, we're gonna have your drain plug. Just gonna remove that and allow the water to drain out of the water heater. You're gonna wanna do this winterization time, storage time. Basically, anytime this thing's gonna sit up longer than probably a week or two, that way the water doesn't get stagnant in there. A couple other things, top dead center here is gonna be your pop-off valve, your safety relief valve. It is normal to occasionally see water drip out of those during the heating process. And then we've got our burn chamber down here in the bottom right, and the exhaust comes out the top here. This would be where we would expect to see insects build nests in here that can cause lighting operation issues. So inspect it. You can blow it out with a little compressed air, things like that, to get things cleared out. Our control board is going to be this guy right here, and there is a little 2-amp fuse right there on it that could blow, just so you know that's there to check it. Manufacturer's tag is over here on the right. It's made by Dometic. If you ever do need parts for this, knowing the model number of the water heater when you call around looking for parts is going to be very helpful to you to help the parts department, whoever you're speaking with, locate the proper parts. So when you get ready to put this thing in storage or winterize it, pull that plug out right there, and then you can open up this valve right here to allow all the water to drain out. Once that's done, you can just leave it like that until you're ready to put it back into use. Once you get ready to put it back in use, we're gonna put that drain plug back in. Now, I do like to keep some extra drain plugs on hand too, because they are plastic. They do cross thread kind of easily, and then they leak on you. So you may want to keep some extras as well. So once you get that hooked up, get that drain plug put back in, now you can hook back up to your city water through your water hose connection on the side of the trailer, and go ahead and turn the water on. That's going to fill this reservoir, and the best way to tell when it's full is to just pop this valve open, and you should be able to see water run out of it. Once you get water running out of that pop-off valve up there at the top, now we know we have water in the water heater, and we can go ahead and light it on gas or get it started on electric to start heating. We don't want to dry fire the water heater. That can damage the components of the water heater. Now to open and close this, it's just this little spring-loaded pull tab right here in the middle. Just gonna fish it right through the slot in the door, give it a pull and a little twist, and that locks the door shut. Now this trailer does have the equipped 1.25 inch receiver here on the back for like a bike rack. Now Lance does have their warning sticker here about adding anything additional to the bumper. About all that, non-factory things can void your warranty and all that, so just use what's there, don't add anything to it. In the center up top here, we do have your backup camera or your rear observation camera for Voyager, which is made by ASA or Jensen. Good camera. It's going to be powered by your running lights from your tow vehicle, so you'll actually have to turn your running lights on in your tow vehicle during the day, not auto mode. Auto mode is going to turn the lights on and off based on sun, so it does need to be in the on position to provide power to the camera. And the receiver that's in the vehicle is powered through your 12-volt accessory port. You just turn them on, wireless connection, boom, you're done. We've got your roof access ladder here. You're going to want to go up there and inspect your seals and sealants and roof tape, whatever's going on up there. Make sure you're not having any water intrusion points. While we're talking about water intrusion, when you go around like your edges, there is going to be some sealants in some of the corners where things are overlaid or something is cut and put through the wall. You're going to want to inspect that stuff periodically. Make sure you don't see anywhere that looks suspicious where water might get in. If you think that water might be able to get in and you are not sure, take a picture of it, send it to us. Let's take a look at it and see what we can tell you. All right, moving on to the door side of our trailer here. Right here at our entry door, we do have an entry grab handle that can stow for travel. To get it to stow, we're just gonna lightly lift up on it. It's gonna be spring loaded, and we can rotate that back out of the way. Some people do like to go over the door with it. It will sit against the glass on this, so it's totally your call on that. Probably to the back would be the best position. We've got our double aluminum entry step here. To store this, we're just gonna fold the bottom step over the top step, put our hand underneath and give it a little push up in there. It'll just slide up in and store. That's where it runs for travel. To extend it for use, just gonna pull it, grab underneath again. We're gonna pull straight out and then tip our bottom step down. So this trailer is equipped with the global electronic lock. It's gonna have an integrated deadbolt system, so it doesn't actually have an active deadbolt that moves out into the door jamb. And it still has your a handle lock as well. Now the other thing about this lock is that it only electronically unlocks the deadbolt. It does not electronically lock. So door's unlocked right now, so if we lock our deadbolt here, you can see that we can't get into it. So on these, you're gonna have to push first to get your lights to come on, then put in your code, and you'll hear it kind of unlock and ding at you, and now you can get into it. Again, then the top one is just gonna be your handle lock. So that just locks your handle. Bottom is considered your deadbolt. Again, it's an integrated deadbolt, so you're not gonna see anything moving in and out of the door jamb. Now to use these handles, if you just grab them and you pull straight out, it kind of displaces the weight too evenly, so it doesn't open real easy. If you just grab the handle, kind of put your thumb maybe right there where the deadbolt lock is, just gives you the right pivot. The door opens really easy at that point. Now to keep the door propped open, you're gonna use your 45-degree hold back there. Just gonna rotate the door back. This is gonna drop into this receiver here and hold the door open. Just remember that you do have that latched. If you grab that door and you yank it, you will rip that out of the wall and create some damage there. So just be cautious. Remember that's hooked up. Don't cause any damage to your trailer. Moving on down the side of the trailer here. Up top here, we've got two speakers. Going to be these two white circles, our porch light here. Vent hood for our cooktop. It does have a vent flap inside that does have to be open for proper use. These two tabs right here, we're just going to pop open. And you can see that that's going to allow that vented cooking gases and everything to come out of there. Now to secure this for travel, so this vent flap is still there when you get to your destination, we're just gonna push and you'll hear them pop back in. Moving just below that, it's gonna be your exterior TV mount. Now this does come in, it's just stored inside the trailer. This can be mounted onto a TV that then can be moved in and out from the outside. To put this on, we're just gonna take this little bar right here. It's gonna sit in the slot on the top of our block, and it's going to rotate and latch into place. Now our connections for that are going to be basically our 110 outlet here that you can use if it's a 110 TV. We do have a 12-volt accessory port as well as two USB charge ports out here if you're going to do some 12-volt action, as well as another cable jack over here for hooking up to the television. Again, wheels and tires, we've got another notice sticker over here about checking the lug nut torque. Moving on over, this is going to be the back side of our refrigerator. This is going to be our lower vent. In here, just a couple of things for you as the consumer. We do have your 110 outlet for this refrigerator operation right here. Now you should feel heat coming out of here. That's completely normal. This is going to be your control board here. If you're working with somebody over the phone to troubleshoot an issue, they may tell you to get into that board. There is a manual gas valve on this. It's going to be this little knob right here. You can turn this. It has a little line on it. When gas is flowing through it, that little line is going to run in line with our gas line here. When you want to manually shut it off, it's going to run this way. Otherwise, it's all electronically controlled by the gas valve here. Now this tube right here is a condensation drip tube. It is completely normal. If you do see condensation dripping out of that, that is what it's for. Now as far as the cover goes, this tube is just going to sit through one of the squares in here, and then we're going to take these 4 tabs and we're going to line them up down at the bottom, sit it in there, push it back up against, and then these need to snap all the way in, and then these need to rotate. Again, if you want to use a coin, it'll make your life easier, but you want the slot running this way with the cover, and that way this cover doesn't blow off while you're traveling down the road. At the current time, the market does not have an insect screen for this particular Dometic vent. It's newer to the industry and they don't have one. Now, as far as your furnace goes down here, exhaust vent down here, it's gonna get hot when you're running your furnace. Don't cover it, don't block it, don't put anything in it. Watch out for fingers whenever it's running because it does get hot. Now, this is an excellent place to put an insect screen to keep the dirt daubers out. They will get in here, go all the way up into your furnace and build a dirt nest, which then affects the operation of it and could either be a clean out job or a new furnace depending on how bad it is. Insect screen, great option. This right here is going to be our freshwater fill. This is going to allow us to carry fresh water on board in our freshwater tank. We're just going to remove the cap, put our water hose in there and turn it on. Now you can fill the tank up completely by just keeping the water on until it backwashes out at you, or you can check the monitor panel inside the trailer and carry a specified amount based on what the monitor panel reads. This little horseshoe vent right here is going to be the vent for the freshwater tank, and that is going to be key lockable. Now this unit is equipped with the Carefree latitude awning, which is all operated from the inside on a couple of switches. I'll show you how to do that operation. Coming up to our front storage compartment, they do store a table in here for you. Great little picnic table that you can throw out under the awning. Just stores on these two aluminum tracks up top. The feet just fold out like any kind of portable table would. And then we've got our pass-through slide-out storage tray here. It does have a latch right here on the side to keep this from sliding out. And then you can just roll this out. And it comes out pretty far. And you can fit quite a bit of stuff in here. If you need to remove it completely, there is a pin over here on the side. This little pin right here. We're just going to lift that out. And that allows us to slide this all the way out. So you can clean it if you spill something, anything like that, or if you need to do anything else in here. Now to put it back in, we're just going to line up our wheels into the track. Slide it back in. Don't forget to put your pin back in. And then just push it all the way in. When you get ready to travel, don't forget to latch this one here. That's going to keep that thing secure so it doesn't sit in there and move side to side while you're traveling down the road. And again, key lockable slam latch with the magnetic catch. Other battery storage compartment here, just as the other side. Our other jack control switches here. For our stabilizers, remember no power switch on this side. The power switch is on the other side. Key lockable. And we've got our Go Power Solar on the side connection point here on the front. You just open this up. You can get you a portable solar panel that can plug into here. Put it out in the sun, and that's going to help recharge the batteries on the trailer. Great for doing some dry camping or boondocking, whichever you'd like to call it, to get out, keep your batteries charged up, and give you some basic operations of the trailer. And then right here underneath, kind of just behind that forward storage compartment, is going to be our exterior propane port. This is going to be great for hooking up to a gas grill or a campfire, something like that, that uses a quick connect feature that doesn't already have its own regulator, or one that you can remove, because this is regulated by the trailer already. It's going to be a quick connect connection, so you'd push this collar back right here. We're going to plug in with our quick connect fitting, let go of that collar, and that should lock our fitting in. Now once you're all hooked up there, then you can turn this gas valve on here, and that's going to allow the gas to flow through. Now once that's turned on, this collar can't accidentally release from your hose. So when you get ready to disconnect, you do have to shut that off first, and then that will allow you to push the collar back. Once you push the collar back, hose is pretty much just going to pop out. When you get ready to, when you get done with that, don't forget to put your dust plug in. That dust plug is going to keep that thing completely usable. All right, guys, I think that covers everything on the exterior of our 2021 Lance 1995. Let's go check out the inside. Alrighty, coming in the door of the 2021 Lance 1995. This door is equipped with friction hinges, so it feels a little stiff. That's completely normal. It does have a privacy shade here that's going to pull down. Now this is going to clip into this little receiver down here at the bottom. Just kind of latches in there like that. If you don't latch it, it won't stay down, so do latch it if you want privacy. Now you also have your slider cover here that's going to cover up your screen door. So you can close just the screen door and keep this open for some nice natural breeze. And then slide it out of the way when you need access to your main handle. Now on your main handle, it's just the one latch here and one lock while you're inside the trailer. So when you want to lock yourself in, it's just going to be the red paddle right here to lock that internal deadbolt. Now this thing is battery operated because it's electronic, and there are other switches and buttons on here for doing reprogramming and things like that. So read the owner's manuals on it if you want to change anything. Now it is pre-programmed with the code from the manufacturer. It's going to be on the handle on the inside of the door, and this is typical. This will always be stated on this door lock. Now just coming in the door, down here at the bottom we're going to find your fire extinguisher. Biggest thing about this is going to be the green button on top. Push it down, make sure it pops back up. That's going to tell you that you still have pressure in the fire extinguisher and should be good to go. This is just going to be a furnace vent right here to have some heat right here at the entry door. Now up to the right, coming in the entry door, we're going to find kind of our infotainment center, if you will. Slide control and some light switches and your awning control. So our top switch here is going to be for our slide, and it says slide out room, in and out. And they've got their caution sticker here, and this is going to apply to your slide out to make sure that you don't run it into anything and you've got plenty of power. Kind of Lance's, hey, make sure all this is done before you operate our slide. Anytime you operate these slides, we do recommend that you run them full travel, so all the way out or all the way in, depending on which way you're moving, to make sure we don't get the system out of time or anything like that. So you just push and hold the switch. Moving below that, we're going to have 4 light switches. You can see these 2 are going to be tagged for interior lighting, and the 2 on the right are going to be tagged for exterior. So our mood lighting is going to be just over our slide out over there. SO is for slide out, so slide out mood lighting. Our courtesy light's going to be the single ceiling light right over the entry door here. And then we're going to have our red exterior awning light. So when this one's on, there's an LED strip on the awning that will come on. And the last one's going to be our patio switch. Now this is going to be a 3-way switch because it has an amber light and a clear light. If you push it to the up position, it's going to be amber. If you push it all the way down, it's going to be clear or white light. And then in the middle is just off. The other one here is going to be for our carefree awning control. It's got a main on-off switch. Again, we do have a warning here about the entry door and making sure that that is out of the way so it doesn't run into anything. So to operate this awning, this switch has to be on, and then it's a one touch to extend. You just push the extend button and the awning will extend out all the way on its own and stop when it's fully extended. You just have to make sure there's nothing in the way. When you get ready to retract it, you just push the retract button and it's going to retract all the way back up to the camper on its own. Now, a couple of features that the awning has, it does have some Bluetooth features built into it, so you can control things from your phone through an app. It also has a wind sensor. As long as the main switch here is turned to the on position, if it starts flapping too much in the wind, it will auto retract to the trailer to protect the awning. And just below that, we're going to find our Jensen radio / entertainment center. This is where we're going to be able to play our DVDs. It's a radio. You can pair your phone with it to stream music. It's got different speaker selections between inside and outside. It pretty much does everything that you would expect it to. It's got an auxiliary port. If you want to play music through there, you can charge your phone from it through the USB port. Yeah, it's got a lot of features to it. Pretty cool. To our left, we will find a closet. And that's pretty much it inside there. Don't accidentally lock it because then you got to get a pin to get it unlocked. Just next to that, we're going to have another wardrobe closet. Now there is a black pipe in the corner of this closet. That's going to be a vent pipe. That's completely normal for it to be there. Got 2 storage drawers that are soft close. And this door down here is going to be for access to your water heater for the backside. This is not a storage compartment. Don't put anything in here. We want things to sit just as they are. Now, we had talked briefly about winterizing your water heater. When you winterize your trailer, after you've drained your water heater, if you take a look at this flare little tag that's on here, it'll tell you how to position this valve for winterization use or normal use. Basically, when you turn this valve and this lever points up, it's allowing the water to come in and bypass the water heater. So it takes this route and just circles through the system. And that allows us, when we pump our antifreeze into the trailer, to bypass the water heater, because we don't need to fill our water heater reservoir with 6 gallons of antifreeze. For normal use, it's going to point this way, and that water is going to go in and come out hot. And that's how that bypass valve works. Let's go in and check out our bathroom real quick. Door's going to swing open. It is lockable. It's just a standard turn lock there. It can be accessed with a pin through there if you accidentally lock the door. Coming in, our lights are the first things we probably need to be able to control. We're going to have our vanity light, which is just going to be the one for our vanity. And then we've got our ceiling light, which is going to be the one up on the ceiling. And we do have a medicine cabinet in here for storage. Got our 110 outlet, towel rack, hand towel holder, hot and cold water from the faucet here. Underneath, you will find this white hose is actually your exterior shower hose. So be careful with that when you're putting stuff in here. You don't want to knock any of those connections loose that may create a water leak. There's 2 more valves back here. Now these valves actually shut off water flow to the exterior shower. So if you do accidentally break something, or you forget to winterize it and you get a freeze, you can shut the water off there to the exterior shower and still use your trailer. You just won't have access to the outside shower. We've also got your toilet paper holder under here. And you can see these cables coming in. Those are going to be your satellite and cable cables coming in there. As far as your shower goes, it's a single lever, hot and cold. Hot's all the way to the left, cold's all the way to the right. So you just find your mix somewhere in between for comfort. Shower head, it's going to have your flow control. It kind of tells you dead center is going to be on, and then you can be off in either direction, left or right. Now, as far as your shower curtain goes, it's going to be a fabric curtain, but it's completely held closed once you get all the way around with a magnet. So that's going to keep everything closed there. To open it, you're just going to pull it loose and slide it on around. I would recommend when you get ready to travel, I would put that up against the wall and travel with it like that, so that way it's not moving around as much. Now overhead, we do have your vent fan. It's just going to crank open, and we've got your vent fan here so you can pull humidity or odors out of the bathroom as needed. Got your towel bar, another towel rack over here on this wall, and we've got your Dometic toilet here with a foot flush. So to flush this toilet, halfway down, if you just push halfway down roughly on that pedal, it's just going to put water in the bowl. You want the bowl about halfway full before you use it. Once you get done, you're going to want to push that pedal all the way to the floor and keep it down for about 10 seconds to make sure we get plenty of water down with whatever's going down the toilet. Now, a couple other things about toilet and toilet tissue and black tanks. You want to make sure you're using RV toilet tissue, and you want to make sure you're using some type of treatment for your black tank to control waste digestion and odors to prevent clogs or anything like that that could occur from using the improper products. Okay, talking about our kitchen here. Overhead, we've got a nice big storage compartment here. Now this is equipped with a little button switch over here on the left to control our lighting. It's going to turn on automatically when we open this cabinet. This outlet that's up in here, little gray plug back there in the top left corner, that is going to be our microwave outlet. That is specifically for the microwave, so that's all it's for. When you close this down, that light again, it will turn off. Little spice rack up here above the sink. Now your blinds in the kitchen here are going to be traditional mini blind style with the cord. So to get these to lower down, you're just going to pull and kind of, lean the cord to the left, which will allow it to lower. If you want to travel with them in the down position, you can. Just make sure you latch them into the wall clips there. And to get them to stay, it's going to be up and to the right. Now, your windows in this trailer pretty much all open the same. There are a couple of different styles, but for the most part the same. This one's going to be a crank out, so we're just going to flip our little lever out there, and then we can crank our window open and crank it closed just like that. Now for our kitchen sink, we do have some sink covers here that can be used for additional countertop space. When you need access to the sink, just take them out, and that's going to give us access to our sink. Again, flow control is going to be our lever here, just away from the head and out. And then temperature control is towards the wall or towards you. Hot's towards the wall, cold's towards the front. And this does have a pull down and 2 different spray selectors based on the button configuration there. Before we get to the cabinets, we are going to find a GFI outlet here. This is going to be a safety device. Again, this is a wet location. It's also going to power additional outlets, not just it, but it does have the trip reset buttons on it. So if you see that green light off and you're plugged into shore power, that means that outlet's tripped for some reason, something plugged in somewhere probably that caused it to trip. Reset it. If it won't reset, make sure you do have 110 power coming into the trailer, and unplug anything else that may be plugged in that could be causing it to trip, and then you'll just have to kind of work your way down to see what might be causing that. In our cabinets, we do have some warning and danger stickers about propane and talking about the waterless P-traps that they're using. You can't use plungers on them, so don't do that. You can't run mechanical cleaners down through them. Basically, they just have to be removed if there's an issue with them. We do have our slide-out storage trays. And then down underneath, you'll see we do have some plumbing duct work. We have some heater duct work. So all the way down here on the bottom in the very back, we will find your water pump. Now, if you're dry camping, that's the pump that's going to be used to extract water from the freshwater tank to provide water to the camper. The other thing that we have here is on the left, you'll see that little black lever that runs to a clear hose. That's going to be our winterization valve for the water pump. What that allows us to do is change our water suction from the freshwater tank to an open-ended hose that we can put down into our antifreeze. So with that, in that position and our water heater bypassed, we can flip the water heater, we can flip the water pump on and suck the antifreeze into our plumbing system and run all of our faucets and our shower and our outside shower and our toilet until everything flows pink, and that tells us that we've got winterizate hot and cold size, and that'll tell us that we've got antifreeze throughout our entire plumbing system, and we should be protected against freezing. Okay, talking about our high point microwave here is going to be a hot plate style, no turntable in here. Kind of the newest thing in microwaves, pretty cool, but it cooks just the same. Set your time, let it go, does what it needs to do. Our vent hood does have a light on it as well as a fan. So we got our light here so we can see what we're cooking. And then our exhaust fan, again, you want that vent hood flap open on the outside of the trailer for this thing to work correctly. We also have a removable screen filter under here. This little guy, you'll want to clean this out periodically if you do a lot of cooking to keep all the grease and stuff down. And then our cooktop here. This is going to be a glass cover on here, so you can't light your burners up and leave this closed. It's not a it's not for cooking on. We're going to open it up. We're going to fold the glass front piece over the rear piece, and then we're just going to pick the rest of it up and lean it. It pretty much leans against the wall. Now, just remember when you're cooking on this, this is not made for your big old, like, 15-inch skillet that you're going to throw up here. You're going to generate too much heat. You may cause damage to your to the wall or something like that. So you want to use smaller dishes in trailers. But to get these to light up, we're just going to turn our knob here to the flame over here. And then we're going to use our striker, and we're just going to rotate it until we can light up there. And you can see these light pretty quick. Very easy to do. Just turn and rotate. Again, you got to make sure your propane's on, but very easy to do. Now, before you close your glass cover back down, we do recommend that you let these cool completely. And then we're just going to close our cover. Don't drop it. Remember, it's glass. Just lay it down. And then we're going to fold this piece back over. And that's going to be that. Now, for lighting the oven, it's a little different. You are going to need a match or a stick lighter. We're going to turn the knob on the right here that says pilot on it. We're going to turn this to pilot, and you can see it says push hold. We're going to push that in and we're going to hold it. While we're pushing in and holding that, we're going to go in here at the bottom of the oven and we're going to light our pilot right there. Once that flame lights right there, we're going to continue to hold that knob in for about 10 seconds. Once we let off, the pilot should stay lit, and then you can set your temperature, get it up to temp, do your baking. When you're done, you can set it back to pilot if you want, or turn it off and you'll be good to go. Just below that, we're going to find your LPCO alarm down here on the right. It's got a test button on it, test periodically. It's going to beep at you. It's going to make a bunch of noise. That's what it's supposed to do. And it's down here by the floor because propane is heavier than air. And if you do get a propane leak, this should be the first place it's detected. Next to that, we're going to find your power distribution panel. Inside you will find your 110 breakers here on the right and your 12-volt fuses on the left. I recommend picking up some spare fuses to keep on you. Lance does a good job at labeling everything over here on the door for you as to what's what. The other cool thing that Lance is equipping their trailers with now is lithium ready converters. So if you want to upgrade to lithium batteries on this trailer, it's as simple as installing lithium batteries and making a switch here inside the converter to charge lithium. It's a great alternative to standard lead acid batteries. Now moving up here on the wall, on this side, beside the microwave, we're going to find your Lance Convenience Center. This is basically going to be our tank levels, or our monitor panel, if you will. We're also going to find a few switches. So if you want to check like your battery level, it'll be these LEDs here. It's also going to give you your freshwater tank level, your black tank level, and your gray tank level. So the top switch is for our water pump. If you're dry camping or traveling down the road carrying water, you need to make a roadside stop, just flip that switch on. The little LED light right there is going to come on, tell you your pump's on. Should provide water to the rest of the trailer. And then the other two are going to be for our water heater. The middle one's going to be for the gas ignition. So if you want to heat your water with gas, if you don't have access to 110 or you just want faster recovery, you can flip that one on. That gas LED light's going to come on. And as long as that DSI fault light stays off, everything should be operating normally with the gas side. Bottom switch is going to be for the electric side of the water heater. If you're staying at a campground with shore power, flip that on. Again, that little electric LED is going to stay on down there, tell you you're running your water heater on electric. You can run both of these together for faster recovery. It's all thermostatically controlled. They'll do what they need to do. The two switches below that, sink and soffit. Our sink light is going to be the one light, strip light that runs right here underneath our cabinet. And our soffit lighting are going to be the two little puck lights there on the soffit. Now overhead, over the kitchen, we do have a nice skylight here. It's got a shade in it that you can close off for light control. And then you will see it is also equipped with snaps. Now Lance, as part of their Four Seasons package, has their insulating covers for all of their ceiling vents and skylights. So these will just snap onto those, and they help with temperature control in hot and cold weather. While we're talking about things up on the ceiling, you can see we do have a couple more speakers in this area here. We have two more up in the over the bed as well. Now all of your other lights in the main area here are going to be controlled with switches on the side of the light. It's going to just be a little like rocker style switch right here on the side that you just rotate side to side. And that's going to control all of your other ceiling lights in here except for the one over the entry door, your dinette light here, which is controlled with the rheostat, and then the two reading lights and some other accent lighting that's up in the bedroom area. So let's talk about your refrigerator real quick and how to operate things on that. To get these to open, it's just a little travel latch right here on the side that you're going to push in, and the door is just going to open up. Now this only has 3 buttons on it for operation, and it's only got 2 modes, so it's going to run on 110 electric or LP gas. First button is going to be our on-off, so if this thing is off, no lights, no cooling, no nothing. And just keep in mind that these types of refrigerators do not make any noise when they operate. When you turn them on, initially all the LEDs will come on, and it's going to kind of select the last source, I guess, that it was in. To change our source, so right now we're in auto mode, so AU is for auto and the LED is below auto. If we want to force it to manual LP gas, we're just going to push that mode, and that little LED is going to move to LP. So now it's going to run only on LP, even if you plug in the shore power. So we recommend running in auto mode. In auto mode, when you plug into shore power, it's going to switch to 110 power. If you lose power, you unplug from 110 power, it's going to automatically switch over to LP gas. So as long as you have LP and 12-volt battery on board, then it will continue to cool on LP gas. And our last button here is going to be our temp set. 3 LEDs move up and down through there from your warmest to your coldest, depending on the position of the LED light. Now, a couple things about the refrigerator. Freezer is going to be up top. It's going to freeze, should freeze. Down below, you've got your cooling fins back here in the back. It is, again, normal to see some condensation drip, and it's going to drain out down there. Below our refrigerator, we're going to have another furnace vent as well as our furnace return air. Overhead, we're going to find our air conditioner. It's going to be our Coleman Mach air conditioner. We've got some different cooling conditions here where we can rotate these to position where we want air to blow. And we've also got flaps on the sides here that can be opened and closed using these rotary dials here. Now on the bottom is going to be your filters. These are going to be your return air filters. These do need to be maintained and cleaned. This will keep up with the cooling efficiency and life of your air conditioner. These just pop out. They can be easily cleaned with some warm water and some mild soap if you need it. Let them dry before you put them back in. These are pretty big. There are some better options for replacements when you get ready to replace. If you get a hole or something in one, they do make some that do a better job at filtering. These just snap back up in here, and then we're going to put our cover back on, and it just pops in, and there's one on this side as well, so there's one on each side. Let's talk about the dinette real quick. We talked about the rotary switch for the lights for dimming. There's also a push button on the light fixture itself that can be used to turn them on and off. All of your windows in here are going to crank open. Excuse me. This one's going to crank open, and this one's going to be your fire exit window. So to use this window, we're going to pop this lever out, and we're going to push that window out. Now you can prop that one open just like that for ventilation if you want. If you want to get it all the way out, remove the screen, and then you would just push that all the way through. And that would allow that window to open up and allow you to climb out of it. Now your shades in here, these are going to be your projector style or roller shades. They pull down, and that one's going to be kind of your daytime bug screen / darkening shade, if you will. It's going to block some sunlight, help control temperature. If you need more privacy or at nighttime, you may want to pull this one down. This one's going to pretty much be darkening. It's going to give you the most privacy. You can't see from the outside in. It's going to be the most light blocking for you there. Now to get these to recoil, it is just like a projector. Just give it a quick pull down, and they roll back up, just like that. And that's going to go for all of the shades in the rest of the trailer. Now the dinette is also equipped with storage drawers. So we're just going to push in the latch button here, and then these roll out, and then they close. Don't forget to latch them whenever you are done using them, or before you hit the road. They will roll out while you're traveling and can cause some damage. Now this also makes into a lounging area / extra sleeping area. That's pretty big. To do that, what we're going to do is we're going to remove this tabletop. I like to set this thing out of the way for now. We're going to take this pole up off the floor. Just give it a little shake. Now this can store in one of the drawers. It can store under here. Kind of up to you where you would like to put that. And then our tabletop is going to lay back in here on these supports on the sides. So you can slide it in from out here if you want, or you can lift the cushions up, whichever way makes sense to you. And it only goes one way, and it's going to slide all the way back in there. Now, to make this into our lounge area, we're going to take this filler cushion out here, and we are going to pull these two down. This one from here and this one from the other side. And they're going to fill in right here in the middle, just like that, and make your lounging area / extra sleeping area, which in this trailer is actually quite large. It's really nice. Now to put it back up, it's just going to be the opposite. We're going to pull these out. These are going to tuck back in. I'm going to go ahead and put this filler cushion back in. Slide our tabletop back out of here. Put the pole back in. Give it a little pat, make sure it's down in there. You don't need to hammer on it or anything. And then we can set our tabletop back on our post, like so, and you're back to table. And that should pretty much cover our dinette slide. We did talk about servicing our air conditioner and how to control airflow. Let's talk about how to actually turn it on and off. Air Excel thermostat here. This is going to control our air conditioner as well as our furnace. It's 3 buttons. Very simple operation. The big long one here at the bottom is how we're going to cycle through modes. And this is how we're going to cycle through temperature, desired temperature setting. So we're just going to push this one. It's going to bring up our fan settings first. So off, and then it's going to go fan low, fan high, cool low, cool auto low, and cool auto high. We recommend cool auto high. Let it do its thing. Let it run through its cycle. Do whatever you would want it to do. And you, again, you're just going to use your up down arrows here to set desired temperature. Next, we're going to go to heat, and to do heat, again, we're just going to select our desired room temperature. The furnace is going to come on and try to achieve that room temperature. To shut it off, you're just going to cycle back to the off position and everything will turn off. Just below that, another 110 outlet. We do have a magazine rack here that you can store some stuff in. We've got our Howard Miller clock here that Lance puts in their trailers. It does require a AA battery there for you, and it just kind of rotate locks into the holder here. So you kind of start at a 90 degree from up and then just rotate it and it locks in. This little grate right down here is actually where your control board is for your slide. So it's actually behind that grate. So if you have an issue and you need access to that board, because there's some override stuff on that, it's in there behind that grate. Overhead here, kind of just above our slide, we're going to find our smoke alarm. Got your warning label here about it. You do need to test it periodically. When you pop it open, it's going to be 9-volt operated. Test it periodically and replace the 9-volt battery as necessary. Moving into the bedroom, we do have a privacy curtain in the bedroom here. It's just held against the wall with a Velcro strap, and then it slides along this track. Now, when you open and close this, I do recommend pulling or slightly tugging along from the top, not from down here in the middle. If these get hung up, which they can on this plastic track, it can cause, tearing or something like that. So just grab it up here lightly, just pull it along all the way to the other side or as far as you need it to give the bedroom some privacy. To push it back, we're just going to push along the top all the way back to the other side. Take our little strap here and Velcro it back to the wall, and that's going to keep it back out of the way. Now again, our windows in here are going to be the crank style with the projector shades. You can see that this trailer, we talked about the backup camera, so this is going to be what goes inside the vehicle. Just has a power switch, and you can select some different things from it, menu, things like that. There's no signal right now because we don't have the running lights on the trailer, but you can see it's just powered through a 12-volt accessory port. Speaking of accessory ports, we've got that back here with 2 USB chargers, another 110 outlet, another soft close drawer. We've got our another wardrobe next to the bed here. Now our reading lamps over the bed just are on and off with the push button here. Your front shade here for this big window on the front of the trailer is going to have 2 styles of shades. It's going to be the pull down from the top for the darkening shade, or your nighttime shade that's going to give you privacy. And it will clip together down here for the daytime shade, or your bug screen, if you will. To get those to release, you're just going to push on that clip right there and slightly separate them, and then they'll just open up separately. Now to open this window, it's got 6 latches, 2 on each side and 2 at the bottom. These just rotate. And then this window will push open. Now to keep this window open is going to be these knobs right here on the side. You'll tighten these up when you find your desired position for open. These also have a ventilation position, so they can be propped open. As you can see on these receivers down here at the bottom, they do have a middle slot. So you can pull these in and latch that in that middle slot, and it'll just keep it open enough to allow some nice natural ventilation without allowing rain in through the window. Do not forget to latch these before hitting the road. If this window catches wind, it will probably be gone when you get to your location. Let's finish up here at the bed. Underneath you will find another charging station, another 110 outlet, and a light switch. Now this is going to be for some mood lighting along the top of the bed here, as well as underneath the wardrobes. Again, we've got another wardrobe here, another soft close drawer, and we've got your Victron battery monitor over here against the wall. That thing's going to kind of monitor your batteries, tell you what's going on with them, usage, things like that. Inside against the wall is actually going to be a Bluetooth dongle for that. So there's an app you can download and pair with that, kind of monitor everything from your phone through the app. Pretty cool. It's got some good information, but I would recommend kind of taking a deep dive into the owner's manual on how to do more with it. Overhead, over the bed, we've got your Dometic vent fan. It's going to be a crank open. We can just crank this open like this. And it's going to be thermostatically controlled, which is going to be this one over here. And then we also have fan speed setting on the other side, 0 to 3. So you can just open this up for venting. If you want the fan on, you just rotate the knob, select the speed desired. This little black knob looking thing is actually going to be a fuse. So it's got its own fuse on board. It's going to be that one right there. If it's not operating, a couple things to check. One being that fuse. The other is going to be the little switch that's up on the roof side. When that lid comes down, it's got what we call a lid switch to actually shut the power off to it so we don't burn up the fan. You can see those stick occasionally, and they'll stay down when the lid opens, and then it won't allow the fan to come on. You can try popping the lid. Sometimes you may need to get up there and actually kind of flick it with your finger to get it to open. When you get ready to travel, just crank it down. Again, you can put your insulated vent cover on there. This trailer is equipped with our Jensen LED TV. This can be pulled out and pivoted to watch from the dinette area. You're just going to pull down on this strap right here, and that allows the TV to come out and pivot around. And you can pivot that around like that so you can watch it over there. While we're back here and we have this out of the way, this TV is 12-volt powered. It's plugged in right here. And there is a fuse on the back of it here in this little holder that you may need to check if for some reason the TV is not working. Now, as far as the other connections on this TV, it's everything that you would expect on a modern TV, HDMI, cable, USB, all the goods. It's all there. Up here on the wall, we're going to have a variety of wall plates. Starting on the left, we do have a 110 outlet. So if you install satellite or something like that, most of your receivers are going to plug into 110 outlet. We're going to have a HDMI cable here, which is going to be from your DVD player to your TV. We're We're gonna have a cable port here, which is gonna be for your exterior cable connection. I'm sorry, your exterior satellite connection, your 12-volt output, and then we've got your antenna booster plate. And the way that works, right now we would actually be in cable mode. The cable feed would be allowed to come through from park cable since this is turned off. If we wanted to run for the over-the-air antenna, we're gonna push that little button, that green light should be on, and you can see also our king jack antenna turned on over here, which applies power to our antenna. Now there's an attenuator knob here. Basically what we're trying to achieve is the most blue lights. The more blue lights, the better the signal should be for the over-the-air antenna to your TV. Now this can rotate. You just push in the little thumb latch here on the side and you can rotate this. And again, we're trying to achieve the most blue lights. Now once you get that thing tuned in for a certain area, you'll have to run a channel search on your TV. So you go into the menu and run through that. Now these lights can be a nuisance to some people. So what they've done is they've put a switch here on the side. You just flip that. All that does is turn the lights off. It doesn't turn the antenna off. So you're not getting all this blue light flickering at bedtime or something like that. Now, if you want to run on satellite, what you have to do is you're going to have to hook up to the satellite connection on the outside. This port right here is going to be satellite into the receiver. Obviously, the receiver will plug here. And then you can pull this HDMI cable out right here. Most of today's receivers are going to be HDMI from the receiver to the TV, and plug this into your satellite receiver, and that will send your satellite connection to your TV. And that should be pretty much it for getting set up on satellite. So it's not too big a deal. This should cover everything back here. So let me store this back against the wall. You do always want to make sure that this is latched into place for travel so it doesn't bounce around, because I can assure you if it gets fully extended and you hit a big enough bump, it may rip out of the wall or do some other damage to your trailer. I think the last thing I need to show you is going to be our underbed storage in this trailer. So there is a latch over here on this side that you're just going to unlatch. And then this will lift up. And this is going to be supported with some gas struts here on the side to help keep it up. But this is a large storage area for you here. You can fit quite a bit. That's pretty much all that's under here. So when you're done, you're just going to close it down. This is going to be your latch here. You'll just latch it back in for travel so it doesn't accidentally pop up. Okay. And that should cover the inside of your 2021 Lance 1995. All right, guys, thanks for following along today as we went through the 2021 Lance 1995. Hopefully I've covered everything for you, but if I've missed anything or you just have more questions, don't hesitate to give us a call, text us, or email us. And again, this is Cody with Princess Craft RV.